House of Delegates member Scott Taylor, he's driving to Richmond as we speak. He is also a candidate for Congress. That's going to be settled in a primary on June 14th. Scott, give us an update on your congressional campaign.
Sure. Everything's going awesome. As you know, John, I've lost before. I've won before. I know what both feel like. This is certainly a winning campaign. Every bit of our data shows that we're far ahead. We have an event. We'll have the 9th and 10th event from around the district this week, one in Hampton, one in Norfolk, and we'll continue to do that. But our scientific poll, our robo-polls, if you will, which of course are skewed, but it's such a huge spread that our data looks really, really well. We're raising money. We have a ton of support. I mean, I was in town this weekend, and I mean, it seemed like everywhere I went, there was someone who said, "Hey, we're supporting you. We'll be there." And June 14th, of course, is the primary. You're right. The congressman is from the 4th District and is abandoning his people and going over and because he thinks it's the easier path. But I just think that's a miscalculation. It's going really well for us. But we're very happy where we are, and we're going to work our butts off, of course, to take nothing for granted. And we have to give the folks in the 2nd District a choice. Certainly, a choice of someone who actually lives here. I think it's going well, man. We're really, really pleased to have a great team, and we're standing shoulder to shoulder, and we're going and telling our message to the folks in the 2nd District.
Well, you're going to be outspent probably 6 or 7 to 1. Are you going to be able to win with that kind of a deficit in money?
Well, let me first say I'm not so sure that's going to be the case. I know that he'll have a bunch of money. There'll be a lot of Washington money, Washington insider interest money coming to try to come against us to try to put in place a congressman who doesn't live here, who can't vote for himself. If he did, it would be a felony in the 2nd District. But I will tell you, I'm not so sure that I'm going to be outraged by that much. We have some interest here locally and nationally in terms of money. But even that being said, even if we were, let's say worst case scenario, we are outspent, that he has to spend a hell of a lot more money than I do because, like you said, he's never been voted for in this district, right? I have. I've had tens of thousands of votes of people in Virginia Beach who have voted for me. And quite frankly, in the 2nd District primary 6 years ago, we had some votes as well, too. So I'm known here. I have a record here. I have a record in the General Assembly that's been working to help military and veterans, help with antiquated laws to allow for new industries to form, which means, of course, new jobs and diversification of this economy. And I've been working on education as well there, too. So people know me here. And I have incumbency, if you will, in part of the district as well too. So he has to spend a hell of a lot more money than me coming over here. And our grassroots, we've had, like I said, we've had eight events. We've had almost 1,500 people who have come to a room, and we're going to have a lot more. And these are different people. These are everyday people, hardworking families in the 2nd District. These are not political people, the party, if you will. We've had some of those, of course, but I'm pleased to tell you that the folks that have come out to these events are everyday people like me, hardworking folks of the 2nd District, and so we don't need to have as much money as him. We need money, absolutely, and I think that we're going to do really well and be extremely competitive in the money arena as well too. But our grassroots and ground game is going to be unmatched. You can believe that.
Okay, we're with Scott Taylor, House of Delegates member, Republican from Virginia Beach. He's a candidate for Congress in the open seat in the 2nd District, the retiring Scott Ridgel, and that'll be decided in a primary, not a convention, on June 14th. Delegate Taylor, the person who you would replace, Scott Ridgel, really got under my skin. It was actually a week ago today. He came out with a letter that he released on the eve of the Super Tuesday Virginia primary, basically saying he would not support Donald Trump if he were the nominee of the Republican Party nationally, that he would go to a third-party candidate. I thought publishing that on the eve of the Super Tuesday primary was egregious. I also thought, we've been backing him and others forever. I don't agree with Scott Ridgel probably on 50% of the stuff he does. I still back him. I put his signs up. And I was just outraged that he would come out and say, well, if this guy's a nominee, I'm just going to sit on my hands. What did you make of that?
let me preface it by saying, look, I respect Scott. I really do. I think he, was a hard charger and worked really hard in the 6 years that he was there. But I will tell you, I think Washington is broken and we need a fresh start. I think most people know that in their souls. I think it was a miscalculation. I think it was wrong, quite frankly, to come out and do that. I think, I just did, I'll disagree with the congressman. I'll disagree with Mitt Romney. I think Mitt Romney is even worse. I just think it's wrong. This is the will of the people. This is the will of the people. So, they hypocritically, the party leaders made Donald Trump sign the loyalty thing, saying that he won't run as a third party thing, and here they are out, a lot of them coming out saying we won't support him if he wins. That's crazy to me. So
Absolutely.
Whether you support or do not support Donald Trump, I think this is wrong. I really do, and it's usurping the will of the people. And people will say, well, there's 2/3 of the folks who don't support him. Well, with all due respect, when 6 years ago we had our primary, Congressman Ridgel won with, I think it was 30-some% too. Now everybody coalesced around him, and we locked arms and made sure that he was elected. And I think he did a good job. So I just think it's wrong. I think I was listening to Mitt Romney, and he was of course he was like, well, Donald Trump is bashing everybody's character, and then he proceeded to bash Donald Trump's character, and then he was talking about the business stuff. And Mitt Romney is a great businessman as well too, but he's a manager. He's a manager, so he's not he's not an entrepreneur, if you will, where Donald's an entrepreneur. And anybody who understands small business and being an entrepreneur out there, you put your life on the line and your capital up there, and you fail and you fail and you fail, and and then you're also successful. There are a lot of things. Richard Branson, billionaire, he's failed at a bunch of stuff,
right,
but he's also extremely successful. And what happens is, once you get a company off the ground going pretty well, then you hire a Mitt Romney, or you get them to, or even from the beginning to get money to grow your business. So it's a different type of businessman. You know what I mean? And
right.
I just thought it was wrong. And I feel like, when you have a Mitt Romney saying the things that he said, he's not only attacking Donald Trump, but he's attacking the people that support him.
Exactly.
And I don't even think he understands that. So I get that he doesn't agree with him and doesn't support him and thinks that he shouldn't be the nominee. That's one thing. But in doing it in the way that they did, I think was wrong.
All right.
I think it's wrong for the people who support him.
Absolutely, because I was offended by what Ridgel said, because basically what he was saying is, John, if you're supporting Trump, you're basically too stupid to have a job. That's what he was basically saying to me, as far as I could say, and I was highly offended by that.
John, if I may, it's completely out of touch with the people. I mean, look. It's the same look at my district. I mean, there's like the establishment, if you will, say, all right, here's a sitting congressman in the 4th district with tens of thousands of Republicans that are in there that supported him for years. And they're like, no, we're just going to give you over to Senator Don McKeach, a liberal Democrat from Richmond. And we'll just move him over because he's so indispensable. That's crazy. None of us are indispensable. None of us are irreplaceable, especially in a body of 435. So, leadership is not positional. It's what you do. It's where you do it, how you get things done. It's attitude. It's skills. That's what being a leader is all about. It's not where you are. So I just think there's a lot of moves in the establishment right now that are against the will of the people. And I think in this day and age where communications are very easy and people understand what's going on a hell of a lot more than they have in the past, and they can see what's going on, they don't accept it. And I mean, it's getting dangerous. I think it will get dangerous if the will of the people is usurped.
I think you hit the nail on the head, and it is about the people's will. And we just had Congressman Hurt on a few minutes ago, and he said the same thing. He said, Trump or not Trump, the feeling of the people and rank and file Republicans are not going away. So he said it's going to manifest itself one way or the other. You simply can't stop this guy in Cleveland and think that's going to be the end of it. So it really shows how out of touch these people are. This is the John Fredericks Radio Network. Scott, what's your website?
John, my website is ScottTaylorVA.com. Scott Taylor VA. Like I said, Washington is broken. We need a fresh start. We need to be able to help the VA and make sure that our veterans are taken care of. We need to up our standing in the world in terms of national security, and we need to change antiquated laws allow for new industries to form, which means new jobs because of technology. That is something that I've done in Richmond and I will do in Washington.
Okay, we're out of time. ScottTaylorVA.com. This is the John Fredericks Radio Network.